Yo, Banter fam, what's happening? I hope you're all having a fantastic day. As you can see, we do have Bitcoin on the weekly. That's on the 0618 line, basically showing us from this last big movement from when we started, from the March crash 2020 to the top that we made last year, November. We basically want to look at this whole entire wave and say, wow, like obviously we've had a big pullback in the market and we've had things start to retrace, but are we retracing to healthy levels? Is it done? Is it over? Because I come back and I'm like, holy shit, what just happened? Like, I took a little bit of a break and all of a sudden we're looking at a market that's like just crazy. Some of the altcoins, Luna, guys, like the smack that I took on Luna, and not just Luna itself, the actual ecosystem has been terrible. And this reminds me, guys, this gets back to the levels. It kind of feels like here again. I know it's a different market, but for me, it feels like this stage again. It kind of feels like I worked damn hard in this time. I really, really tried, and I tried to build a portfolio. I tried to be committed. I tried to get where I needed to get, and then all of a sudden, it literally got wiped in a very short amount of time. I'm feeling like this zone again. Now, I can look at this feeling and be like, okay, this is it's shitty. Like, it doesn't feel great on what just happened. But I can also look at the part like I remember being in this stage, and I remember how I recuperated and how I basically started fresh. I actually got to a point where I said, screw the past. I'm out of the past now. This is what I have right now. I don't care what I had. I don't care what it is. This is what I have right now. This is the new leg. This is the new start. And we basically start to move. Guys, I have a massive announcement coming in the show. So I'm going to be going through Bitcoin, going through dominance, going through some altcoins for you guys as well. Is it time to buy? Is it time to sell? I have a massive buy wall and a sell wall. I'm only making decisions when one of those are actually reached. And then from there, we will then allow the candles to print and make the next decision. No more wasting time. Sniper is back.
Click, click. Have you heard the news? What? With his finger on the pulse, it's like Sheldon knew. Click, click. When the sniper shoots, we got Sheldon on the chart, so we never lose. Enter the sniper, sharpshooter advisor. Enter the sniper, he marks the charts right. Enter the sniper, he's calling the cycles. So enter the sniper, click, click, click. Time to be dedicated, sniper mode is activated. Explosions in the market are in target, and Sheldon demonstrates. Mirror, mirror on the wall, Master Sheldon tell us all. We got Sheldon on the chart, so we never lose. Enter the sniper, sharpshooter advisor. Enter the sniper, he marks the charts right. Enter the sniper, he's calling the cycles. Enter the sniper, click, click. Enter the sniper.
Yo, Banter fam, I hope you're all having a fantastic day. To anyone that is new, make sure you will smith that like button and subscribe button. To our family, to all the guys that have shown me tons of support over the last few weeks, thank you so much. It's been an absolute journey. A lot of finding myself again, getting out of this world of just crypto. I went a few days of not looking at the Bitcoin price, which was great, but I came back and it was quite I had nearly had a heart attack. It was quite tough for me to see. But guys, this is where we start again. I got a lot of good news. I'm feeling better. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling it's time to start hitting things back and getting things moving again. To, like I said, ignore what's happened in the past, to rebuild again. I've been here before. I remember that time when I started, guys. I think I had $1,000 or something. I built it to $4,000 or $5,000, and then we had the March crash, and it fell down to $400. Then I remember from that building to 10K, and then we had the September crash in 2020, which took that all the way back down to $2,000 again. And I've had this a few times in the journey. When you kick ass, you do really, really well, and we basically suck everything out. And then people think it's different when you start making real money. Now, let me give you a little insight. Now, I built up to a couple $1 million, right? Still didn't listen to all of the lessons that I learned a few times, and I lost a couple $1 million. So just because your money increases and you start making tons of money, like, it doesn't mean that you're still at the same risk, or doesn't mean that you're not going to repeat the same sort of cycles again. So I hit it again. I'm way higher than where I was on the last leg down, but I still got smacked in between that. And remember, it takes a few cycles to run, but this is where we get going again. This is where I go again, and I do my best again to learn from the last mistakes and to kick ass and to basically build the next one. And I know this next leg, at maybe the end of next year stuff, like I'm going to get to that point where I'm finally going to learn my damn lesson and I'm finally going to learn a lot. And that's why I got into teaching. That's why I got into doing these actual shows, as it reminds myself to every single day to do these things. If I'm going to teach it, I need to be doing it. And that's a beautiful part of. What happened, Carl? Load shedding. Anyway, guys, let's get into it. And then from this, I'll basically bring you guys some good news and what we're looking at next. I'm starting a brand new show. It is something very different. It is something that's true to me. I was very unhappy with what I was doing previously. As I said, I had different expectations when I came into this, and now I've learned quite a bit. And it's time to show a different side of myself, and it's time to get back to the original Sheldon on where I started 2 years ago, and to start it all again. And to do it. Seeing is believing, right? Is Sniper a trader? Is he actually good? Is he actually good? He says, I got something that's going to show you guys who I am, and the proof's in the pudding. So, guys, if we jump in your Bitcoin, where we did have, the last time I was on, I did have this, the major wick zone where we had basically the 29K. That was the zone we've been bought up many times. It was zones we've tested a few times in the last year or two. And we came back to that, down to that actual zone again. Now, we did break through it. I think we did drop down to around 26,000, 25,500 on some exchanges. We did have quite a long wick tail. So the first thing that I had a look at here was there was a massive volume spike. I did like that we got some sort of tail. The only problem is we never got a full tail. We never actually got something that created a sort of hammock candle or pin bar candle, as we like to call it. When we get those candles, we know they're really strong reversals. The problem is here is we got a long wick, but we didn't buy up enough in the last week for me to say that was a real higher time frame reversal. For me, it's showing me a temporary reversal. It's showing me something from here, a temporary point of we lost the support, which was basically 37K, 36 to 37,000 was the previous support. We dropped that. And now we always got the next lessons of, do we go and test that as resistance? If that is so, can we look at the next downside of getting down to 20K? Because that was the problem. The problem is we finally made the real lower low of these previous wicks over here. We didn't get the full reversal candle just yet. So now we got two different alarm bells. Yes, we've been through a lot and we've hit a lot of losses within the altcoins, within Bitcoin as well. But we're at that point where, if we don't hold this next level, we don't hold these specific levels, we can be looking at a 20K or even a $17,000 Bitcoin. And this is where we got to now start putting our big boy pants on to say that I don't care what's happened in the past. This is where my portfolio is right now. And when it gets to these certain levels, are we going to offload? And if we don't break these sorts of zones, like, we can sort of be sure that we will be going down to the next lower levels. And right now we're in that stage. Remember when I was, I think 6 months in, we started that whole farming series. We were farming and basically learning that, yes, a lot of us bought tops. I bought bottoms in 2020 and 2019, 2020, but I also bought tops within the last year or two. And even if we bought at these zones, do you remember, how do you get an entry in the market? The way you get an entry is the amount of tokens you have, right? If you have a certain amount of tokens, it will give you an entry price on where you basically got it. And for me, by accumulating any bits of tokens in the market actually brings your entry price down. And what it basically means by that is if I had, let's say, a Bitcoin in the region of $50,000, that's my price of where I bought that Bitcoin, right? But if I can somehow build 2 Bitcoin in the next month, that actually drops my entry price from 50,000 down to 25,000. At the end of the day, all that I need to do, remember, without putting more money in, without that, like actually using my previous position, by me building more positions will automatically bring my entry level a lot down. And, at times, it can be a tough strategy, but right now it's the only strategies that the markets are actually offering. We may be in this accumulating market for the rest of the year. We can be there. Bitcoin did not hold the levels we wanted to hold it to say that this is a raging bull market and we're going to break all-time highs this year. Right now, we are not getting those signs. So for me, what I'm basically looking at with Bitcoin is I have the two different walls. I have the big sell wall. Now, I still feel that the levels that we broke, we dropped these lows. So for me, it's not good we dropped those lows. And it's showing that support that we previously had there is no longer as strong as what it used to be. And we finally cracked the wall. So now what I'm looking at is where's the next support below that? And the next support is this previous all-time high of 2017. And there you're looking at around 19 to 20K. So where I'm looking at right now, I'd probably be saying that Bitcoin has still got lower to go. I'd still say we're looking at a 20K Bitcoin with what I have in front of me right now. Now, as I was saying with this long wick, I am getting the little signs of a short-term temporary bounce because we did have a strong little wick. We do have RSIs, which the weekly is finally down to the bottom. I hope you guys used my lessons that I taught you guys, I think 2 months ago, where I showed you guys when the RSI gets to these levels to start offloading and de-risking, right? Guys, go take that strategy and go use it on just what happened. Even though we never got the monstrous move we wanted, it warned you when you got to the levels of about 60, 70, 80% on the stochastic weekly. It told you to start de-risking. It told you to start getting out of your high-risk tokens, start getting out of your medium-risk tokens. We've done this before. I know we got the chat later on today. I'm going to go through the stock markets now shortly to see what we can be looking at. But guys, you remember, but now we're at the bottom again. We're telling us to build a portfolio again. So we do have the ranges where we know the low 20Ks where we can go, but the RSIs are saying to start de-risking it. We'll start adding risk again, start getting, into a little bit of higher cap, into a little bit of medium caps again and that. And when the RSIs then get to the higher levels again, you got to de-risk again. So it's another lesson. We did get smacked a little bit hard, but, end of the day, we're starting again and we're back at the original point. So I'm looking at two walls. I got the 20K for Bitcoin that if we continue here, that's where I'm looking at. I think we're going to get an absolute monster risk capitulation candle. That is the 200-day moving average on the weekly, or the weekly moving average in that zone over there. So we have that. That's helping us back that. So that for me, I think we're going to get a monstrous buy up. I really, really think we're going to get some massive reaction at those sort of levels. And then we got the next wall, which was previous support. That's around 38,000. Now, I have a trend line. Let's actually get this up here. I do have a trend line, which is detecting the two previous highs we had. The recent one we had at 48, and the one before that we had at 69K. So that for me is my trend on the much higher time frame to see, when we're finally going to end this really choppiness and we can be looking at changing some sort of pattern. But for me, what it's showing here is if this is a temporary reverse, I do see us going to 38K. Now, if we go to 38K and we don't break this trend line, we don't get above 38K, I'm probably going 50% cash. Like I'm probably going into a much higher level of cash into the zone over here, because if we don't break that higher high point, we are going down to these zones. So this might be the little saving grace for us that we did get quite a bit of smack on a few of the altcoins. And if we do go up to these levels again, it is showing that it will take a week or two to get that. So we can be looking at slow ground with the market to the upward side. When Bitcoin gets to these zones, I'm getting out of high risk tokens. I'm getting out of medium risk tokens. I'm keeping a percentage in Bitcoin, percentage in ETH, and I'm going into USDT. And then I'm waiting. I'm waiting for either the crack through, where we crack through here, we test, and I'll enter straight everything back. I want this RSI to be down at the bottom here.
Sniper is back, yo.
We're back, bro. We're back.
Yo.
We had a little bit of a delay, but
Sniper's back.
We're back, bro. We're back. We're back. Confused me here now, Ron. Okay, so we do have that wall, which is basically sitting 38K is what I said. This is where I'm basically going to be offloading, restructuring the whole portfolio, getting into safe assets. Because for me, if we don't break through that, we're going here. And then we can be looking at RSI from here, up, down, and then the continuation where I'll rebuild the whole portfolio again. So that for me is my saving grace sort of point. Or from here, we go straight down to here. Then we consolidate for a little while, and then we can get a real serious weekly sort of breakout in that zone. So, buy or sell, I'm buying here. I'm selling here. That's the only zones. Right now, I'm in the dead middle. I don't care about charting much of the alts right now. Reason being is because this dominance is really on a strong point. It's in Bitcoin's favor. It's now broken the long-term trend for Bitcoin on the weekly, which means everything's following Bitcoin. So when Bitcoin gets to a buy zone, that's my topping up zone for the alts that I want to buy. When Bitcoin gets to a sell zone, that's where I'm getting and taking profits within the altcoins itself. Looking at obviously the USDT dominance as well, and why I'm not looking at, this thing obviously shot through. It literally had a really strong push to the upward side. And we did get a nice wick on here as well. Remember, guys, this is just controlling and showing us when money is getting into the coins and when it's getting into dollars. And right now it's showing a lot of strength to the USDT at this point. And we did get a long wick here, but for me, that's not a weekly reversal candle just yet. So it is showing me a little bit more growth here. And then we can be looking at the reversal, and that reversal will obviously indicate for us either Bitcoin at 20K or we break through the 38 and we start to look at moving to the next sort of zones. Now, let's quickly go into the stock market. I know we've got some chats happening today. This is important, guys. For right now, we have full correlation with the stock markets, right, Carl? Like it's just following the stock markets. It's following the S&P. It's following everything at this point. So we need to keep track of that as well. We did hit a low bit of support at the zone over here. And you can see the weeklies at the bottom. So maybe possibly a little bounce within the stock market, which will be good for crypto. But still, for me, lower low at this point. If it is something like that, worst scenario, Bitcoin goes to 20K. I'm looking at the stock market crashing. Stock market crashing, I'm looking at a comeback down to around 29. So looking at another 10, 15% within down the US 30. That will then come and test the weekly moving average. There'll be a complete flush out of this long, big leg that we had at the zone over here. And then maybe that's possibly what we need again for the whole reset of the market again. I think it got overheated. I think we were going to have maybe a recovery within the last few months. Then they said, screw it. Let's rather go hard now. And I think that's what the US government's at right now. Let's go hard now and let's go easier. So, what two options did we want this year? Did we want this year to be a raging killer first half of the year and then possibly end of the year, one of the biggest crashes we've ever seen in our lives? Or we start the year strong where the markets are tough. You remember the stock markets are down 20, 30, 40%. Like, everything is down at this sort of point. Maybe we get it out and the rest of the year we can actually have a really strong remainder of the year and we can continue the actual run. So guys, what I am going to be doing, remember guys, I do have CoinPanel as well for any of the chart updates, for any of my stop losses, any of those things, they are there. I am doing a quicker show today as I have some news for you guys. I'm basically revamping and starting a brand new show. We got this set show every day where I do 12 o'clock my time. For you guys, I start basically giving you my insights on what I'm thinking of coins and sort of stuff. And I then realized on my time off that this is not me. I'm not enjoying it. I hate it. I hate that I have to sit here and be everyone's weight and have to do these sort of things. People don't listen. They don't take responsibility. They don't watch the educational videos. People are just lazy in that sort of point. I'm not saying everyone, but there is a good amount of people that like to do that. So what I decided to do was I turned $400 into $1 million within 2 years. And for me, it was me sitting alone, sitting at night, doing my thing. I had a little bit of trading buddies as well where we did it together. And, I managed to do it in that time and I had no more distractions. So now I thought to myself, okay, I've also taken a big smack in this market. I want to start again. I want to prove to myself and I want to build it again. Can I take $400 to $1 million? I'm going to start it off from $400 to $100,000 as the first sort of goal. I know a lot of people took a smack. Now we have two different audiences out there. We've got guys that are still making money so they can keep loading up as the dip comes. Or we have guys that put everything they got into this and they thought it was going to change their lives and they really want to start making salary. They really want to start, really earning this money. And for me, it's like, okay, I don't care what I have right now. I want to build it all again. So I want to start a live trading show. Now, what the live trading show is going to be, it's going to be me trading at night. It's, whatever the market conditions are, if there's day trades available, if it's 1 or 2 trades a week, it will shift as we go. I'm going to start going live every time I'm trading my portfolio now. Now, I'm going to use the money for cool things. I'm going to show you guys. You'll soon see what I'm actually going to use the money for. But I'm going to screw this shit of me giving you guys analysis every day and telling you where I think the coins are going to go and what's going to actually happen. I'm actually going to start going live and start trading live. There might be 2-hour, 3-hour streams. You can pop them on in the background of your day or wherever you're actually there. And if you're scared and you want to see how we can rebuild, I'm not scared to ever be knocked down. I'm not ever scared I've lost everything a few times before. And this has always been the great start of rebirthing something and starting something fantastic. So I want to start and I want to be open and true within my portfolio. Can Sniper do it? Can he actually trade? Can he actually do stuff? I actually want to do that for myself. I actually want to prove that to myself. I want to retest what I can do again. So I'm going to be going live. I've set up a studio at home now. I like to trade at night. It's the US, it's the daytime for the US, which is great. But I want to pop that live button. I'll have a few of my buddies jump on at times when we're actually trading. But I want to pop that live button and I want to trade. Now, in this time, it's going to be spots, it's going to be leverage, it's going to be margin, it's going to be all of them. Because I'm starting with $400, right? So I'm not starting with a $10,000 account. I'm starting with a $400 account. I want to show you how I split that $400 into certain amounts in spot, certain amounts in leverage, certain amounts in margin. I then want to teach you all the tools for each wallet. Now, one of my wallets is clearly for spending money. One of my wallets is clearly for paying off debt. One of my wallets is clearly for paying off things. But I'm just giving you examples of what my wallets are for. Now, I want to teach you how $400, how we start splitting into individual wallets. People want to know, how do I buy groceries every month off of crypto? I'm going to teach you how to make a wallet for that. People want to know, how do I go buy myself shoes and buy myself clothes and do stuff? I'm going to teach you how to make a wallet to do that. The only reason is, with $400, you can't do that yet. So what I do with the $400, I got to go to a certain amount to open one account. From that, distribute it into another, into another. Let's see what we got, right? Let's see if this is truly possible. The only way I can do it is by doing it every single damn night and clicking that live button on. I have time to answer some questions in those times. But now it's no me sitting here. Guys, what irritates me is I'm not able to sit with you guys throughout the whole day. So if I give you analysis in the morning and something changes that night, like, I'm not there to help you with that. But end of the day, I'm going to teach you a valuable lesson of not staring at the charts the whole day, of setting the right alarms. And when it's time to trade, it's when it's time to trade. So as soon as that, you're not going to get a big heads up. You'll get a 10-minute, 15-minute heads up. But when I'm going live right now. We're jumping on. We're getting those entries. We're trading. Once we've taken profits, we are splitting it. We're moving it in. I'm shutting off. I'll see you all in a day or two when this RSI is here. And we're going to run this whole road together. So I want to be happy. I want to do this in a whole different way. I want to focus on my portfolio. I want to focus on my family right now. I don't mind putting the live button on and running with you guys every day. And I think that's the best way that I can communicate with you guys and to teach you guys as much as possible, is by actually doing it every single day. Analysis is cool and stuff, but I think something like this will be fantastic. I'm with you guys. I want to show you guys it can be done. I want to show you guys how you can turn your whole life around. And remember, by you watching it and doing it, mimic it with me. So if you don't know what you're doing yet, you start off with me. And eventually you're going to be running into your own skills that you can do it without me. And that's the whole purpose of it. And we're going to achieve this together. And I'm going to start off at small accounts so that it's relatable. That's the whole purpose of it. I don't want to come in with $100,000. Not everyone is $100,000. So $400, right? Let's see what we can do, guys. So it's exciting. This will start off early next week. Make sure you are following myself on Twitter, as I'll be giving you guys the announcements. I'm just finalizing a few things, the studio and all of that stuff, all of this to happen. But now there's going to be no more set shows for Sniper every day. They're going to come at different times within the day. Over 2-3 days, we'll see as we go. But together we're going to do this. So thank you for the support, all the love over the last year. I'm changing everything. I'm starting again. I'm starting fresh. And I'm going to do this the way I want to do it. I'm going to do it the way that I love. And that's the way I can always kick ass and be the best me every day. So guys, right now we're in the middle zone. Hold that. Let's see. I'll be back this week as soon as we start testing one of our walls, and we'll make the next decision. Yeah. I know. And remember, guys, what I do need you guys to do is two things. If you are looking for, I might open a leverage watch list on CoinPanel, maybe. But if you guys are looking for the trading things, make sure CoinPanel, make sure you're on it. It's going to help you guys a lot. I'm going to be using that a lot in the live streams as well. And then if you guys need to exchange, guys, we are going to be doing leverage. We are going to be doing that. You do not do any of the stuff without me. If you don't know what you're doing, you don't do it at all. You run it with me every single day. If I'm trading, you trading. If I'm not trading, you're not trading. Like, that's what you do. That's a responsibility you take. But guys, use the Bybit link in the description. Open your account so long. We'll then start. Some guys will, if you want to put $50 in, $100 in, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. I'm going to help you guys strategize and build it. But please use that link, as that funds everything for us. It helps a lot for me to continue to build the stuff, to buy all this equipment. It's quite expensive. And we can run this all together, guys. So CoinPanel, Bybit link, and I will see you all on the next show. And next week, we start the brand new journey. It's going to become the biggest show, the biggest trading show on the planet. I promise you, it's going to be absolutely insane. Now you got no more bullshitting. You got no more lying. You got someone in front of you sharing his screen and running with you hours every single day. Seeing is believing, right? So let me do it on my account. Let me show you guys. We're not quitting. We're not giving up. I love you all. I appreciate you all. And I'll see you all on the next show.